welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I am Casey, and today this is the multi-strand bracelet that I will be making. Most of the components in this bracelet came from the bargain bead box for the month of November 2022, and I am super happy with how it came out. I absolutely love the way that it looks. If you are interested in the bargain bead box, I will have all of the information in the description box below, including my code, and that is Casey2. That's KASI 2, and that will get you $2 off your first order from their website or $2 off your first month's subscription box. So, if you are curious to see how this bracelet came about, then stay tuned. Let's get right into it. I'm going to start off with the tools that I will be using. I have 2 sets of chain nose pliers. I have 1 set of cutters, and I have 1 set of crimping pliers. And I want to briefly mention my tool set. This is the Casual Comfort tool set, and as the name suggests, this is the most comfortable set of tools that I have ever used. I highly recommend this tool set. It is very high quality, very well made, very comfortable to use. And one of the biggest things for me is it has adult size grips. And a lot of times in stores, tools will have, for whatever reason, they will have these smaller size grips, which work if you have smaller hands. But these tools, the Casual Comfort tools, they fit my hand so much better. The grips are just a little bit larger, and for me, it was just the right choice. I will have this tool set linked in the description box below. Again, I highly recommend this tool set, but even if you don't get this tool set, I just recommend investing in your tools. It can be an absolute game changer. I will also link below with the tool set anything that I use in this video that did not come in the bargain bead box. I will also be using 49 strand bead along wire in the color Bright. That is this silver color. And if you're noticing down here that the metal that I am using is in a gold finish, you will see by the end, you won't even notice the silver wire. So for this multi-strand bracelet, for my focal strand, I'm going to be using these cloisonne beads. I really appreciate everybody who commented on my opening video where I was kind of struggling with how to pronounce it. I greatly appreciate that. These are absolutely beautiful beads, and these will be the 3 beads across the center of this strand of the bracelet. I'm also going to be using these diagonal cube beads. These are also really beautiful beads. And then these gold and bright red rondelle beads. From my own stash, I will be using these 3mm gold spacer beads. And I will also be using these bead caps, these 4-leaf bead caps. I'll be using 2 of these smaller rondelle beads. Also, this toggle clasp, gold finish, very smooth toggle clasp that came in the bead box. And then, of course, all of the findings, the wire guardians, crimp tubes, crimp covers, and some jump rings. So I have already cut a strand of wire. It's approximately 12 inches long, just a little bit over. So here is how I start a strand. I'm going to put on a crimp tube, a jump ring, and a wire guardian. Put it through one side. I'm going to wrap it around and put it through the other. And you want to make sure that jump ring goes up inside that wire guardian. And I'm going to pinch that wire guardian closed with my fingers. So you want to make sure that jump ring goes up in the wire guardian, and then both ends of that wire go through that crimp tube. I'm going to pull on that longer piece so my tail isn't quite as long. And then I'm going to hold the pieces of wire apart, and I know this part is hard to see, but I want to make sure that they're not crossed under that crimp tube. So I've got one coming out there, you can sort of see it, and then one coming out on this side. I'm going to go in with my crimping pliers into that second divot and give it a smash. Get that taco shape. Turn it on its side, go into that first divot, give it another smash. That gets it okay, but I like to go in with that flat part on the end of the crimping pliers. Give it a final smash, and that gets it really snug. All right, so I'm gonna hold this by the jump ring, place this crimp cover. I usually try to set it over the wire and then scoot it up over that crimp tube. And then I'm gonna flip it up, go in with my chain nose pliers, give it a gentle smash, go front to back, give it another gentle smash, give it that round shape, and there is how we start each strand. And that crimp cover gives the illusion of that first bead. So now it is simply the order of the bead. So I'm going to start and end this strand with one of these small rondelles, 3mm spacer, bead cap facing up, larger rondelle, bead cap facing down. Now I'm going to go to the other side and tuck that tail into the first few beads. All right, so there you have it. This is how it's going to start. And then other than that small rondelle, we've got the spacer and the bead cap surrounding the big rondelle. We're going to do this 2 more times. All right, so here you have it. And the only thing I added was one more 3mm spacer on the end. So the next section is going to be a simple back and forth with the diagonal cube and another 3mm spacer. All right, and do that one more time. So here we have it. And now we're going to be doing the middle portion. So we have a bead cap facing up, one of the cloisonne beads, bead cap facing down, 3mm spacer. So we're going to do this with the centerpiece bead 2 more times. All right. So here is that centerpiece with those 3 absolutely beautiful beads. So now we're going to do this exact same setup that we have on this side. We're going to do that on this side, and we'll meet back up. All right, so here we have it. Here is the full strand, and as you can see, I did the exact same thing on this side that we'd already had over here. So now we're going to see how we close it off. We're going to put on a crimp tube, a jump ring, and a wire guardian. I'm going to put it through one side, wrap it around, put it through the other. You want to make sure that jump ring goes up inside the wire guardian. I'm going to pinch that wire guardian closed with my fingers and make sure that crimp tube has both wires going through it. And I'm going to take that tail and go through the first few beads, then pull it through. And here's where you have to have that balance, because you want it snug when you pull it through, but you definitely want your strand to have flexibility. So I'm holding on to the tail. I'm going to go in with my crimping pliers into that second groove and give it a good smash. Get that taco shape. Turn it on its side. Go into the first groove. Give it another smash. And as you can see, it's okay, but we're going to go in with that flat part on the end. Give it the final smash. I'm going to take that crimp cover and put it right on top of that smashed crimp tube. And then flip it up. Go in with my chain nose pliers. Give it a gentle smash. I'm going to go front to back on that crimp cover. Give it that round shape, just like that. And then I want to go in with my cutters on that tail as close as I can. And then I'm going to tuck the end of that tail into the next bead. There you go. And then that's closed off. So here is the final strand with both ends closed. So now, the same technique used to make this strand is used to make each strand. I will show you this is obviously the dominantly red and gold strand. So I'll show you the green strand. So here is the focal green strand. And one thing that I did add, I added some green 4mm pearls from my own stash, and then some 4mm bicones from my own stash. But all the main focal beads are from the bead box. We have these 8mm beads right here, and then the 10mm beads in the center. I love that gold that's kind of almost like it's clouded in there across the center. Of course, I have the 4mm pearls in the middle. You can see the bead caps on there. They are from my own stash. Same on this side that we had on the other side. And of course, it is began and ended the same way. So here is the green strand. All right. And with every multi-strand bracelet that I do like this, I like to have focal strands which have larger beads in them, and then smaller strands with smaller beads that add to the design but don't necessarily add to the bulk of the bracelet. So these are the three. They have a very similar design, these smaller strands. So we'll focus on the gold one, the yellow gold one with the design. Began and ended the same way, and then it's just a simple back and forth between the 4mm pearl and the 4mm bicone. It's got that 3mm spacer in between, and it goes all the way across. So very simple design, same beginning and ending. So here is that gold strand. And then of course the green and red. Same simple back and forth between the 4mm pearls and the 4mm bicones. Now the red bicones are not from my own stash. They are actually from the bead box, that deep, deep red, beautiful color red. But the green bicones are from my own stash. And it's the same beginning and ending and the same back and forth design all the way across. All right, so to put the clasp on, I have a 6mm jump ring. I'm gonna open that jump ring. And I have taken the jump rings off of the end, so it's just the wire guardian. And the order that I place them on here is important to me. When you wear the bracelet, the strands are going to kind of fall over each other. But for me, I like them to be in a particular order on here, so they kind of stay in a kind of general design. So I'm going to start with the green, the smaller green, then the larger green, then the gold, larger red, and then the smaller red. So I have them all on here. I'm going to put the hoop end of the toggle clasp and then close that jump ring. So there they are. All right, so I'm going to have another 6mm jump ring, and I'm going to open it. I'm going to put them on in the same order over here. Smaller green, larger green, gold, larger red, smaller red. And then the bar end of the toggle clasp. And then I'm going to close that jump ring. All right, so here is the final piece. All right, so here it is. Here is my bright, shiny, beautiful green, gold, and red bracelet. And of course we have the gold toggle clasp on this side. I absolutely love how this came out. I'm going to set it up on my display so that we can see it a little better. All right, so here it is, and I am just so happy with how it came out. I love those bright, bright colors, and the cloisonne beads, I just think those are a beautiful focal bead along with those green beads with that gold wash in them. I just think they are so, so pretty. And I love multi-strand bracelets like this. I usually either wear bracelets like this or wear, several stackable single strand bracelets. But for me, this is just so much quicker. They're already coordinated, and I just think it's so, so pretty. So once again, I'm going to have all of the information for Bargain Bead Box in the description box below. So if you are interested in checking it out, I highly encourage it. And if you do check it out, go ahead and use my code. That code is KASI2. That's KASI2. That will get you $2 off your first month's subscription or $2 off your first order from their website. And if you like this video and you want to see other videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like. leave a comment. I absolutely love reading my comments. You guys are so, so kind, and you ask such intelligent questions, and I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.